Hi, and welcome back to the True Vine Connection. I wanted to pop in to do a quick little tutorial on using Gorilla Wood Glue, and I'm sure you probably could use any glue, but I've done this with Gorilla Wood Glue to seal my wood art projects and anything that I have adhered paper to wood. And we're going to use this not only to just adhere paper or anything like that to wood, but we're also going to use it to seal the wood and the paper work that we have done. Now, in our last project, we painted these wood blocks, and we added letters and numbers or words, things that you wanted to add to them. We used acrylic paints, markers, and watercolor, and permanent markers, and all of that. We sealed with some Mod Podge, but I want to show you, and again, you can use either matte or glossy. However, I have found that a lot of times things remain real tacky, so you can't stack them together. They're real sticky and tacky. So I wanted to find a way that if I didn't want to use this hairspray to try to dry and mattify to take the tackiness away from wood and paper products, because I have a project that I'm going to share with you that I want to do. I wanted to find a way to seal my paint and the paper that I've applied to this wood project, and if oil or water were to get on it, and I'm not talking about being submerged in water, but just some moisture or maybe some other like oil or something like that got to it, that it wouldn't automatically start melting or loosening the finish that we put on it. And so I thought about some things that I had been working on, some other projects that I had been working on, and how water had spilled on something that I used this Gorilla Glue, wood glue on. And when I wiped it away, and later on, it wasn't tacky. As a matter of fact, there was a little bit of oil that also had spilled onto the little project. And it did not dissolve in any way the wood glue, and everything remained, had a nice sheen on it. It didn't become sticky or tacky or anything like that. So I said, Eureka! I'm going to use that. So I want to pull this in and show this to you. So I did another little experiment, and I cut out this from a little game instruction book, and these are popsicle sticks that have been glued down. I was working on a project. This didn't turn out the way I wanted to, but I knew I could use this to experiment and do some little other examples of things. So I painted a corner of this with some acrylic glue, and then I'm sorry, with acrylic paint. Then I glued down with the Gorilla Glue this little piece of paper that I had cut out, this little image I cut out, and I mixed this Gorilla Glue with a little bit of water, and using, as I always do, a paintbrush from children's paint set that I don't really like. That's what I use to use my Mod Podge and glue with. I went over the top of the image, laid it down, then I went back over it again, just like I would use Mod Podge over any of my projects. I allowed it to dry. It did not take a long time to dry. It did not move the paint. It did not disturb the image in any way. Once it dried, I let it dry. Within an hour, it was completely dry. But I said, let me let it dry overnight. I let it dry overnight. It is not tacky or sticky in any way. I also went back with some water. I put water on it and let it sit there for a few minutes. Wiped it off. Did not move the paint. Did not cause this to become tacky or sticky. Then I put some oil, hair oil, on it with a little bit of water. Let it sit for a while. Wiped it off. Not sticky or tacky. It has a nice sheen to it. I don't know if you can see that. Any rough or abrasions that you see was because the brush that I was using, I was rubbing it, the plastic scraped it, but it was not because of the glue or anything like that. So I have discovered a way now. Well, let me say this. I personally have. I don't know. Other people may have been using this method. I don't know. Didn't go back to check to see. But hopefully that will be useful to you guys. And so I decided that I would go over this method with you all so that you can see how it works. I would suggest that you would use a top or something to add your glue to that you don't care about, because this glue does harden. And that was the other thing. I like it because wood glue actually hardens, so you can add some embellishments or things like that to a project maybe that you wanted to add, and adhere it with that, but anyway, let's try this. Okay, this one we did in our last video along with these other ones. We put some Mod Podge on it, but this time these two we are going to use this wood glue. So I'm going to add a little water here. And this is just some paint water. I'm not going to put my paintbrush in there, but I wanted to use this to add some water, and not too much water. And let's stir it up with the back of our brush. So we just dilute it a little bit. Wood glue is kind of thick. Also, I would suggest that you not put your fingers all in it. I mean, you can wipe it off, but this is not like regular glue, so you want to be careful of that. Okay, so we're gonna lay it down. I think I want to add a little bit more glue to this. I might have added too much water. Let's put a little bit more. Oops. Well, now I've added too much glue. Okay. We'll work this out here. Okay, think we're going to be okay right here. I'll get that back into the bottle. Anyone who's used wood glue knows that you need to work kind of fast with it because it will start now. The other thing I would say to you is when you're putting this down, don't try to go over it as few times as possible. As you can see, it kind of moves this on. This is the block that we did using a washable marker, so you have to work kind of quick with that. This one, let's do a block that this block here is acrylic paint that's on it, so we'll use it. Now when it goes on, initially it is white, but it's going to dry clear. Let me say that to you. It will dry clear. Or it won't be white when it's, dry. Okay. So we'll set those to the side and let them dry, and put that in some water. So just wanted to give you that as an option, but before you use it on any of your projects, do a test with using some of the same products that you're going to be using, same materials that you're going to be using in whatever project that you're going to be doing, and then see how it works. And because you don't want to use it and then find out later on after you've done your project that it didn't work the way that you wanted to. It's just another idea, and I hope that it is helpful to you. And again, thank you all for tuning in and for subscribing. And if you would like to become part of the True Vine Connection family, go down to the comment section. After you have subscribed, go down to the comment section and comment, "I am connected," and we will add your name to the True Vine Connection family tree. And so until next time, stay safe, be blessed, but most of all, stay connected to the True Vine. See you next time.